Okay, this wasn't meant to be a stealth camp, but it's turned into a bit of a stealth camp because I can hear the rangers on their quads going around the forest. And get away, spider. So I can't light a fire or use any lights. I've got a torch on at the moment, but if I hear anything again, I'll have to switch it off. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you saw the views coming in, and they're pretty amazing. So just the walk up here took about half an hour, and it was really nice. So yeah, really chuffed with that. Hang on a sec, I'm just gonna... I had to dump a load of stuff on the leaves, and I think I picked up a load of crap. Anyway, so let's give you a tour. I've got the hammock set up with the DD under blanket. So that stops you losing the heat underneath. Inside, I've got a military surplus bag, and this is a down bag, and inside it is a liner. So the liner is just, it doesn't add any warmth or anything. It just means that you know, if you get it muddy, you don't have to wash the bag, because you can only wash the bag a certain number of times. And there's like a little chart on the side of the bag, and it gets marked with a permanent marker when you every time you wash it. So I lost the audio on this part of the video, but I'll try and run through exactly what I was talking about. Going back to the bag, the military surplus bag, the liner that I used can be removed, and it's tethered inside the bag on some tie points, so it doesn't move around, and when you climb into it, it just feels like you're getting into the actual bag. So getting into it with dirty clothes or muddy boots or whatever you need to, you can dirty the liner up and then just remove it, wash it, and then put it back in the bag again. It just saves you the hassle of washing the entire thing, because eventually it just causes the filler inside the bag to degrade over time. So avoiding that is good. The other thing I was talking about here was my decision to not bring anything other than the night vision goggles and a torch. I could have brought the Tilly lamp as well, but it was just extra stuff to carry. And really, I just wanted to test out the night vision goggles. As a test, my friend came to visit the campsite, and he came for some beers for a couple of hours. When he was walking up towards the camp, I killed the lights and just checked to see if he could actually find me, and he couldn't. He was wandering around in the dark for ages. I could see his head torch with just my naked eye, but when I put the night vision goggles on, I could actually see his figure walking through the woods. But all he could see on me was a couple of reflective strips on my trousers that he was picking up with his head torch, but nothing else. And he didn't actually realise that was me. So he was wandering around for quite a bit until I started whistling over, and he kind of cottoned on that it was me and not some animal. At which point he headed in the direction and then saw me. But yeah, I mean, the range is really good, but you can always extend it with an infrared torch as well, and that will get the range to go even deeper into the woods. The torches that you get built into the headset aren't super powerful, but are powerful enough to see well beyond what a handheld torch is capable of. But yeah, aside from that, I've got like the MRE food pack here, and I was just kind of showing a bug. Oh, and in terms of what brand the night vision goggles are, they're called Night Fox. If you search on Amazon for Night Fox, you'll see them. Night Fox night vision goggles. They come with a head restraint or harness that you can mount it on, so it's all hands free, or you can get a strap that you just put around your neck, and you can use them like any ordinary binoculars. There are a couple of like digital zoom functions as well, but they're kind of the same as what you would get on your phone. But yeah, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the video. Sorry about the technical glitch. The foxes are out. I can hear them. Anyway, where's more? So the other thing I forgot to say, and sorry for the audio, the phone battery's running out, so I can't plug in the external mic. But yeah, there's going to be some high winds tonight. It's going to be absolutely pouring down in the morning, so yeah, it's not going to be great. There's some horrible bugs flying around. You wouldn't have thought it this time of year. Everything should be dead. Yeah. Let's see if we can. Hang on now. Just so they're not buzzing around me. Okay. Yeah, they're big. Anyway. Yeah, so storm-ish, high winds, whatever. That's why I tried to keep the top really low, and the sides quite low as well, because there'll be some driving rain, I'd imagine. So yeah, I've really picked a great time to do my first solo. Come on, light. It's hard to know whether this gel's actually lit because it burns clear. Let me try. Yeah, I'll just light it on top. There we go. I can actually see that. Just. Anyway, I've overfilled this. Let's get the veg curry and rice. Yeah. Let's see. I'll probably have to put it in like that and then turn it around. Actually got not enough water in there now. Let's put some more in. There we go. These gel things are actually really good. I'd never used one before, and I tried one out in the garden. I was camping with my daughter in the garden, and we boiled some water and made a tea, and it's surprisingly fast. The water was boiling in under 5 minutes, I'd say. I did have a lid on it, and I haven't on that, so it might take longer. But The other thing that's quite cool, I was trying to set this up just now, but these dry bags, they're quite bright and they're fairly translucent. And what you can do is roll them up so that you trap a load of air in. And that's terrible, I haven't done that right. So let's get some air in there. So yeah, you trap the air in and it turns into a big like cylinder thing. And if you put a torch in there, providing you can get the torch to sit right, it acts like a lantern. And I forgot, well, I didn't forget, I deliberately didn't bring the Tilly lamp today, because, why is that not charging? I thought I'd be lighting a fire, and I thought the infrared thing would be more useful than it was. So all I've got is a torch. But I'll show you in a sec. You can put it on the outside like that. There you go. So although it's like the light intensity is not like great, but actually something I've never tried. Maybe if I roll it up. That might work better. Ish. Anyway, you get the idea, and it provides like quite a nice amount of ambient light in here. Not tons, but probably a good amount that nobody's going to see it from a distance. So yeah, I mean the other option I got is to just put it underneath, but for now I need to see what I'm doing. So I see some bubbles. That's not bad, is it? And there's quite a lot of gel still in there, so what I'll do is cook that side and then I'll flip it over and push all that in to that side. I bought my leather gloves. I see a lot of the other YouTubers, they use leather gloves for their bushcraft stuff, but I've bought it just as a heat shield for that. I mean, if I wear this, I can just grab the cup, the stove as well. I mean, if it's hot, I can pick that up. So it's quite useful to have. I've got no signal here. I was supposed to message my wife and let her know that I got here okay. So I'm going to try and get a message through. Get back to you guys in a bit. Morning. It's really wet. Loads of things failed. I've got water in the hammock because the drip lines weren't up to the job of getting rid of enough water, but it was a combination of that and no foliage on the tree, water running down the trunk onto the line that I'm using on the hammock not being particularly suitable because it just soaks up water. It's quite thick and just channels the water directly into the hammock itself. So I think it was inevitable I was going to get wet. Well, the hammock would get wet. I'm quite dry. This sleeping bag is damp a little bit, but it's not too bad. But let me just show you what I mean. So here's, you can see, let me try and focus on that. You can see the water running off the bottom of that line. Focus. What happened was it was just torrential, so I put a second drip line on and the water ran off that, and it was still running off the end of here, and that was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just gave up in the end. This bit here was acting like a drip line and stopping the majority of the water from getting in here, and then that end I had the same story. I had to add drip lines on here. So yeah, the main problem is just this line that you get with the DD hammock that is the wraparound as well, actually runs through the hammock, and so this is saturated. It's just soaking the water, even though the drip lines were working and taking the water off. These things were just absorbing the water, and the rain was particularly heavy last night, so there wasn't really a lot I could do about it, to be honest. Otherwise it held up and it was pretty heavy. It's still raining a bit now, not too much, so I'm going to try and get cleared up. You can see some puddles on the actual magic carpet underneath, and the bottom of the hammock's wet as well, the lining. So I've got a lot of drying out to do when I get back. This is the torrent I was on about. It ran down the trunk of the tree and then hit the wrap that was around the tree for the hammock, and then it just ran along the line to the hammock and soaked it. So yeah, I mean, tie lines being underneath the top is a good idea, but I mean, tie lines anywhere along there would have helped, just because it would stem the flow of that from making it onto the line into the hammock. But I'm going to change the hammock lines anyway, the straps, because they're really basic and not really suitable for this kind of weather. So yeah, so I learnt some lessons this trip. It's a good first solo. I knew it was going to rain, and I mean, the point is I've done a load of dry camps, not videoed them, but they're really easy. You don't have any complications or anything like that, so I wanted to use this as kind of a learning exercise, get some experience with wet weather and what I need to be prepared for. And I've learnt a lot, actually. The drip lines, the top, the hammock lines, everything, the straps, it all needs to be changed. So before I take the tarp down, I'm just gonna use the rest of the gel that I left in the stove to brew a Greek coffee. Greek coffee is, it's Turkish coffee, Lebanese coffee. They're very similar. You use very, very fine grained ground coffee, and you put it in the tin with the water, and you just literally get it to a boil. And as soon as you see it start to bubble, you lift it off, and that's it done. And then just let it settle. And you're probably thinking, well, what about the sediment? And that's the good thing about it, is that if you let it settle, this coffee sediment goes to the bottom, and then you can drink the coffee from the top and just leave the sediment in the bottom and just discard it. So that's the plan here. And then I'm gonna get the tarp down and lift up the magic carpet and pack that away. I'm going to get all the dry bags in the bag first, and try and get as much packed away as possible. But yeah, even packing away in the rain is quite an experience. It takes some planning, because you want to leave this canopy up as long as possible just to keep everything dry. Otherwise, everything that you pack is going to get wet, you're going to get wet, and then you've got to hike out of here with just tons and tons of wet stuff, which is going to be heavier. It's not going to be very comfortable. So yeah, learning. Okay, all packed away, apart from the ground being a bit flatter. There's no trace, and I gotta go. It's pouring down.